Yeah, there's about 6 chat messages.
Okay.
All right, so it's funny, this song. It's nice and calming, isn't it?
Yep, very soothing.
It is not a calm day, though. It is not a calm day out there and about. It's not a calm day on social media. It's fine. It's not a calm day in Minnesota. It's not a calm day up where we live for a lot of people, because people have officially now glitched out. And so where do we start here? Well, we should start with, we repeatedly talk about some friends and neighbors that we have who we get along with. But
right, who act normal in public,
yes,
generally speaking.
Exactly. It's like the sweetest, nice, most positive people in the world. And they have, some of them have officially made the switch now. And so we've got, first of all, Alice's friend has done this thing again. This is a girl, this is another yacht bunny, grew up in Lexington. Parents have all sorts of money, and are boomers who stop, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, she has decided once again that that there needs to be she wants accountability. You're being called out.
Yes, she writes on Facebook, I am so tired. Please, if you follow me or you are my Facebook friend and you are anything but aggressively against the current fascist regime and its senseless executions of civilians, please tell me. I need to know who is around me.
Okay, no.
And then she follows that up with a post that she reposted from somebody else that says, if you woke up today scared, embarrassed, and realizing you were wrong, it's okay. I will listen and support your transition to reality. Message me. Start today.
So,
I forgive you.
Yep. So among
I haven't done anything.
Among other things, this person who says that she's tired, as if this has all been a burden on her, is mostly fat and unemployed, and I don't know how she's tired. She's in New Orleans. She's away from all this stuff. Stop being tired. Stop being tired by your social media. And we need to talk about this, what's happening here. If you think that there was an execution by ICE
right,
of this guy, Pretty, then you don't know what execution is. We need to define terms. That's what we need to do. Mm-hmm. An execution is a systematic murder of somebody, which does not happen. If ICE had walked up to this guy in his car, said, is that the guy? Yep, that's the guy, and shot him in the head, we can talk execution.
Right.
ICE was doing their thing, not executing people. This guy was doing his thing, not being executed, until he made about 30 crucial steps in getting yourself executed, shot, murdered, shot. And
right.
Which he did. This guy in Minnesota, I don't care if the gun was drawn, if he had the gun, didn't have a gun. This is the point, and this is why this media is so horrible in this, and people are being so terrible with this stuff. They start, if you watch Jonathan Carl this weekend, he said, the cameras rolled and you witnessed a struggle between this guy, Pretty, and police. Like, wait. Let's back up a little bit.
How did we all get to the struggle? How did we... The struggle is not the beginning of the story. The struggle is halfway into the narrative of events that happen.
Right. There's no struggle necessary. Last month I got pulled over by the cops in New Hampshire. There was no struggle. If there was a struggle, and I said, okay, so I was in a struggle with the cop in New Hampshire, and eventually the guy tased me, Alice and you guys would say, how is there a struggle?
Yeah, how did that happen?
It's not a given that when law enforcement is doing their work, that there has to be a struggle. You have to create a struggle, which is what this guy did.
Like I said, and this just gets at like how people are so sheltered apparently from anything. Like everybody needs to sit down and watch Cops as part of their like education in life to see how things happen, because people are so sheltered from this stuff. I think they honestly believed their own made up story during Black Lives Matter that if you get into fights with cops and you're white, nothing happens to you. But if you get into fights when you're black with the cops, then they shoot you and kill you.
Annihilation rate, yes.
Right. So they've all been telling each other that, like, good white liberals who care about other people need to go put their protected invisible force field white lives on the line to protect the people of color who are being carted off by ICE. And, like, they believed this. These people, Renee Good, Alex Priddy, believed they had white privilege shield and they're allowed to fight with the cops and that nothing will happen to them because that only happens to black people because cops are racist. Now, it turns out none of that is true, that if you get into a physical altercation with the cops and they're fighting and you're struggling and resisting arrest and you have a gun on you and, like, they don't know that, what you're doing. I have no idea what's legally going to be determined about this shooting or whatever, but, like, this is just a situation that you don't have to be in. And it's a situation where a lot of things can go horribly wrong. And your intentions can be misunderstood, and they don't know that you're an RN who works with veterans and that you liked backpacking. Like, that.
Well, right.
That's not part of what was happening here. So, the situation that you get yourself into, like you said, I've been pulled over too. And, like,
have you had any struggles?
No, I've never even had a ticket, much less a struggle.
And, the idea that now the libertarians are all speaking up, which is terribly disappointing because libertarians can't help but jump right to that F you jackbooted thugs, the state carries guns, and they can authorize themselves to do something at the foot of the barrel of a gun, man.
And
it's
people
like,
are
just go
being
listen
like,
to the
just
Meat
'cause he had a
Puppets
gun
with your
doesn't-
Chuck Taylors on somewhere else, please. I'm so effing sick of it. Oh,
just because he had a gun doesn't mean he deserved to get shot. And, like, people are, the NRA's come out with a statement. And there have been some people who have made statements like that on social media. There have been some people
Look at my replies in the last 24 hours, and you have enough there to go with.
But there are people who have said, like, if you bring a gun to a protest, then what do you expect? Which, he was clearly allowed to carry a gun around, which,
sure.
although I will say that Minnesota law requires that if you have a concealed carry permit and you're wandering around with a gun, that you are supposed to have your ID and your concealed carry permit with you, and this gentleman did not. And you are also supposed to, when you meet with law enforcement in any circumstance, and you're a lawful concealed carry permit holder and you have your gun with you, you are supposed to let them know that immediately and surrender the weapon when asked, so that they can work out the situation to avoid things like this happening. Because to get into a physical altercation with the cops while you have a gun before, like, there's no chance for anything to be adjudicated. The idea of this whole thing is supposed to be, if you think that they're being unfair or whatever, then you can work that out afterwards. But in the moment, the safest thing for everybody is to be like, here are my hands. You can see them. I'm a lawful concealed carry permit holder. I have my ID. I have my license, because so that you're not in a fight with the cops with your gun and nobody knows what's going on and somebody's yelling gun and, like, a bunch of people being like, well, he was disarmed before they shot him. Okay, 1.3 seconds before he got shot.
I don't care if he had a gun or if he had an Etch-a-Sketch or if he had a Furby. I don't care what he had. Don't wrestle the police. Does everybody... Did everybody miss this? For poets and male nurses, I guess
white,
everybody
so
missed this. I don't understand
give
it.
him
Like,
the
you know what
talk.
you can't do? You can't wrestle the police. I knew that. I knew you can't wrestle the police. If I ever, and I've tweeted this out too, if I ever saw my dad when he was alive in Vermont, and my dad said, what are you up to? And I said, well, I was wrestling with the police, and the guy tased me. My dad would be, well, what? You were what? And my dad would hope that they beat the F out of me. If I ever wrestled the police, he would hope they beat the F out of me. And if I wrestled the police and they shot me, my dad would miss me, but be like, he was an idiot. You don't wrestle what is this if it's okay? And these stupid politicians now telling people it's okay to wrestle the police. Don't be in a situation ever when you're wrestling the police. Just don't be in that situation. Is it that hard? Is it that hard, poets? Is it that hard, male nurses? Don't be wrestling the police. Holy fuck, it's almost impossible to get shot by the police. Oh, asterisk! Unless you fucking wrestle them. Oh my God, why are we learning this for the first time? It's amazing. I don't understand. Like, why
But I
is this
think
new?
these people
Why is
are
this new?
legitimately sheltered. I think if
And then
you're
people
like,
tell me also, Allison, ICE is not the police. Okay, how about law enforcement with guns? We don't wrestle all law enforcement with guns. He was taking pictures, man. And if you say don't wrestle the police, like, oh, whatever bootlicker. Look at this bootlicker that wants to just wants to comply all the time. Yeah, comply when the cops say you do something. Comply. That's what you do. You comply. That's the rules we've set up as a society. Is the cop, whether or not he's an a-hole, he's going to give you a command, and you listen to the command. And the same thing with ICE. When ICE is doing stuff, it's not your job to get in there. And this bootlicker, oh, okay. And now I'm a cuck whose wife has to get ran through by everybody, I'm told, because I would comply with the cops. That's what the deal is. You comply with the cops and handle it after. If there's a problem, you can handle it after.
right, because the idea is not to get shot in the moment because you're starting a huge fight with a bunch of police officers over nothing. And this is my other favorite one, is his last act was defending a helpless woman against masked thugs. He and the defenseless woman and the people recording the videos were not surprised by a random gang of masked thugs out in public who were randomly grabbing people and pepper spraying them. The context matters. Clearly, you're not randomly allowed to go pepper spray anybody on the street. That's assault. You can't do that. ICE was pepper spraying people, or Border Patrol. I guess this may have been Border Patrol in this situation. They weren't these federal officers, whoever. They're not going around pepper spraying random people off the street. They're pepper spraying people who are impeding an investigation, and this guy was too. You can see at the beginning of the video that he's out here directing traffic, standing in the middle of the road. These are not protests. Even the word protester is completely disingenuous. This is not a protest. This is not a bunch of people getting together and saying they're protesting. These are people who are in an organized group that is specifically trying to disrupt legitimate law enforcement activities. They have group chats where they are organized and reporting license plate numbers of cars known to be used by federal law enforcement, trying to stop federal law enforcement, quote, de-arresting people. So like getting in the way of legitimate arrests by immigration officers, stopping enforcement activities, blocking things with cars. Like, he's part of organized groups that are doing this stuff, as are all the other, quote, legal observers, all the people taking cell phone video, the other people getting pepper sprayed, the helpless woman he's, quote, defending from the masked thugs. They're not random masked thugs. All of these people involved in this video know exactly who these people are and know that they're legitimate law enforcement authorities who have the absolute right to do immigration detentions. There's no mystery here, and people acting like they just spawned on Earth and that this video is the first context they have on anything that's going on. Well, the masked thugs were pepper spraying a woman. He was defending her. No, when law enforcement is trying to arrest and hold people and is using non-lethal force like pepper spray to try and get control of a situation where people are disrupting law enforcement activities, and you go with your gun and involve yourself and start to fight the law enforcement officers, like, you've created a situation where there didn't have to be one at all. It's insane. It's insane. And everybody acting like this is like they have never heard of any of this stuff is either disingenuous or incredibly freaking sheltered and stupid. But the problem is a bunch of people believe this.
Yes. And once you do that, once you go get involved and you're now in a physical situation with law enforcement, you're not a poet, you're not a male nurse, you're not a former marathoner, you're not somebody who played high school basketball. You're none of those things anymore, but a threat. And for the news to try to position this especially this guy, as law enforcement walking, as you said, Alice, which I stole from you, as ICE walking into a hospital and murdering this person.
I'm Jake Tapper in Washington on a dark day for this country. We begin this hour with the breaking news. Protesters taking to the streets of Minneapolis after 37-year-old Minneapolis resident Alex Preddy, U.S. citizen, an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA hospital, after he was shot and killed by federal agents earlier today.
It just sounds like they went to the hospital and started shooting nurses. Yeah. Like, it's insane. But a bunch of people believe this. A bunch of people. This is the problem. And this is why, and by the way, I think it's completely unhelpful and dumb for DHS and whoever else to be parroting this narrative that he was an assassin who set out to murder ICE officers.
Correct.
Because
Correct. That was stupid by the Trump administration.
look, he had a gun and 2 magazines or whatever, and that shows like he was out to inflict maximum damage and assassinate federal law enforcement. He was not. He's a moron who, with a concealed carry permit, who decided he would go involve himself in a situation that didn't involve him. And that's the reason he didn't have an ID, by the way, is because all these ICE Watch groups have made it a policy not to carry ID to make them have to do more work to find you if you're disrupting federal law enforcement. So that's their like rule. But he didn't put it together that if he's bringing his gun, he's now like in violation of their concealed carry laws. But The problem is not that he's like a terrorist assassin, because he's not. He did not, I don't believe, just like I don't believe Renee Good is the same as the jihadists who run over Christmas markets.
No, correct.
He's not an assassin who woke up that morning and was like, I'm going to go kill off a bunch of immigration officers. He's an idiot who believed in narrative that there's fascist jackbooted thugs roaming through neighborhoods kidnapping people at random, and that he had a moral obligation to go and interrupt their activities and put himself in a very, very dangerous, very volatile situation where people can think that he's dangerous. And I mean, like I say, I'm not trying to make a judgment on the ultimate legality of this shooting, but I don't...
No, I believe that this guy believed that he was doing a heroic thing in stopping the Nazis.
Right,
and I think that when he got his paramilitary outfit and he brought his gun and he got his
cool sunglasses,
and the whole thing, I think he felt like a hard guy and thought, you know what? I'm going to use my intimidating stuff and the fact that I'm a white guy, and I'm going to stop these Nazis. And goddamn any of these Democrats who are repeating this to people, because they are. So people believe it.
Right.
And so like Graham Plattner, the psycho from Maine, was just up here, telling more people to get out there. It's like, Graham Plattner, if you don't know, sorry, I'm signed into your Twitter too also, I never know which one I have. Graham Plattner, if you don't know, he's the oyster fisherman with the Nazi tattoo. Who'll make sure he speaks like this now. He's trying to do the really masculine.
Yeah, they try and do this hardo thing to show that they're like not like the wussy Democrats.
Right. Here we go. Let me see if I can find the Graham Plattner talking to folks.
But
hold on one second. Let me just play him.
People need to get off the couch, join groups, and take part. I join a rapid response team in your community. Join a mutual defense.
A rapid response team?
But this is the thing, is that these people are really organized. These signal groups and like these groups of people that are doing this stuff. And that's why it's so dangerous, is these are organized groups of people who are showing up and disrupting law enforcement activities. And the people that are joining them think it's the same as like doing a bake sale for the baseball team. Like, we're joining a community service project to help refugee families or something. And they don't understand that if your community service project is disrupting law enforcement, that bad things can happen. It's insane.
Right.
And they've radicalized normal people. And this is the problem with the whole Alex Preddy situation. It isn't even that he's like some kind of dangerous terrorist. It's that they've radicalized normal do-gooders, stupid liberals with stupid lawn signs into taking this stuff seriously. And they're getting them into rapid response teams and signal chats where they're showing up and being used as, I was talking to a friend this morning who used the term cannon fodder, and it's like literal.
Yes.
They're using them as cannon fodder. This is exactly what the Graham Plattners and the Mayor Fries and the Tim Wallses want, is they want people showing up and getting shot so then they can go, we need to de-escalate, take ICE out. This gives them veto power over federal immigration policy. If Trump pulls out ICE out of Minnesota, it says we're not allowed to enforce federal immigration policy in the state of Minnesota because law enforcement is not being allowed to work with federal law enforcement to get people out of jails and courtrooms who have valid deportation orders. So they're having to go into neighborhoods. And then in the neighborhoods, you have organized groups of people, clearly in some cases armed, who are disrupting and physically blocking law enforcement activities with zero repercussions, and elected officials are encouraging it until bad things happen. And
Right.
then they're saying that, well, I guess we just need to stop all immigration enforcement then.
And then Democrats and their media, once a bad thing happens, they suddenly now pull out the actual X's and O's context and tell a different story.
We come on the air this morning after another tragedy in Minnesota. Just 2 weeks after the killing of Renee Good, another person has been shot and killed by federal law enforcement in Minneapolis. His name, Alex Preddy. He was 37 years old. He was an American citizen. He had no criminal record. He worked as a nurse.
It's showing him, now the pictures are showing him, there's one of him hiking, there's one of him on his bike.
His patients were American veterans. He was an avid outdoorsman, a competitive cyclist, and a licensed gun owner. He played football and baseball in high school. He was a Boy Scout. His parents say he joined the protests after the killing of Renee Good because he was horrified by what happened and what ICE was doing.
They're not protests.
After he was killed yesterday, Alex Preddy's mother said, quote, he loved his country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
Freaking gross. Gross. And once again, he was none of those things. By the way, and that's ABC's way of saying, hey, look, you can relate to this. He played football too, and he Second Amendment, and he rode a bike. So
and he
now,
helped veterans.
Yes.
See,
so now,
you guys like veterans, right?
Yeah, exactly. Here's Amy Klobuchar.
You know, I have been with these officials. I have seen them. I think you have too, pleading for peace. And somehow 50,000
I missed this.
peaceful protesters in
Did I? Oh, no. Okay. No. Okay. No. I that's not what I wanted to play. Let me just play what I wanted to play here. It got me nervous. Here we go.
One of these constituents of mine was a poet, and the other was a nurse. They had no criminal records. So I would...
She wasn't at the poetry slam. She was behind the wheel of a vehicle that was accelerating towards an officer with a gun. Like,
the poetry was not the problem. I'm sure I would find it problematic. As a matter of fact, I know I would find it problematic. The nursing was not the problem. If they did more poeting and more nursing and less getting in the way of federal law enforcement, then they could be living poets and nurses. But no, we're playing a game here, and it's just frigging pathetic. I get shot for directing traffic. Does it mean I have to get shot because I directed traffic? He deserves to be shot? Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Idiots. Oh, it's so...
but it's like it's so insane. It's so insane that like they've appointed themselves like, no, we get to, in Minnesota, we get to go stand out in traffic and stop ICE, and we get to stand around blowing rape whistles and getting in the way of an law enforcement doing their job, and we get to stop you, and now you can't enforce federal immigration law here. That's just it. There's no more.
Here's another one. 10 bullets in the back. Law enforcement ends once he's incapacitated. Well, you know what? That's fine. You can do the game of inches, bring out the chains, and decide when it should have stopped, and the velocity of the bullet, and the one from the side that hit the lady in the head, the poet in the head, and the one from the... We can do all that in the middle. You know what doesn't happen? We don't even have to have this discussion. If you don't wrestle the police. Right. You don't mess with the police. There's no discussion of how many times you're allowed to...
He was an avid outdoorsman. Dr. Cheswick says in the chat... oh, no, sorry. It's not Dr. Cheswick. Sorry, it's Janet. It says in the chat, Carl delivers eulogies now. It's true. It's like, what are we doing? He was an avid outdoorsman and Eagle Scout. His parents say he enjoyed... Like, what are we doing? It makes no sense.
T. Michael says he was not interfering at all. He backed away. Backed away from what? Backed away from... There's no reason...
Backed away from being imminently arrested.
Can I ask you something else? Did you have to back away this weekend?
No.
I didn't have to back away either. A struggle didn't ensue. I don't have to worry about numbers of bullets or my card or if somebody grabbed my gun or didn't grab my gun. I didn't do it. Like, you don't have to do any of that stuff. Get out of the cop's business. Get out. It's not your business. It's not your business. It's not my business to, when I see teams of landscapers up the street, push the guy off the lawnmower and jump. No, this is not what I do. I do this now. This is the things I do. Same when there's a house fire. No, hold on. I'd like the hose, please. I now do this. I don't like the way you're doing it. I'm taking, no.
Well, and all the media repeating that he was an American citizen because they love to do this. The only reason you say that is to reinforce this made-up, stupid thing that a bunch of liberals keep repeating, that ICE has no right to detain or stop or do any enforcement against U.S. citizens, which is not true. If you are impeding them and committing crimes, which obstructing them is, then they are allowed to detain you. I mean, but a bunch of people believe this lie, and they keep reinforcing it so that more people believe it, so that more people go out and do stuff like this. They need to be clearer about these things. It's insane that the media is encouraging this, that politicians are encouraging this, and then they're like, well, you need to de-escalate. Like, you need to stop enforcing immigration laws. Time to de-escalate. Like, no. I don't have to de-escalate. You de-escalate. Stop telling people that they have the right to stop federal law enforcement from doing their job. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can you play the song, the Minnesota protest song that I sent you? It's from Blue Sky. The person posting it didn't make it or whatever, but it's very.
It's not 1,000 ways to bleep you back. It's not as
good as that, but it's in the realm.
Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm scrolling through Seth Moulton yelling at me.
I sent it back to the top of the chat again.
What we just saw this morning on the streets of Minneapolis is another outright murder by federal officials. And let me just be clear. Those federal ICE officers are absolute cowards. I'm a Marine veteran.
Oh, God. That's Seth Moulton running its
Also, by the way, we need to stop letting psychos join the armed forces so that they can run around afterwards and be like, I served in the armed forces and I think XYZ, like, to use that.
It is kind of a tradition.
Idiots.
It is a tradition, and I hate to give him any credit, but he did actually see some shit in Fallujah.
Like an invasion force, they rode in. It didn't take long to kill one of our kin. And hundreds hear the danger whistle blow. Minnesota Minutemen saddle up and go. There's more of us than there are of you. And we ain't your riders, yes.
What I hate about this is it's
kind of good.
Well, no, it's the Arlo Guthrie kind of speaking, kind of singing. Yeah. There's no way this kid has this accent.
The year, but we got the soul of Paul Revere. You can follow us home. We're right on still. We're cutting through the ice. Just call it the will. There's more of us than there are of you.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
The people's will. They came down to stop the people's will. But we'll keep fighting louder still. Now we ain't afraid, we know the truth. There's more of us than there are of you.
Just go do male nursing and just do that. Do that what you're doing right there, okay?
Yeah, make little songs.
Make little songs and poetry. and
stop trying to fight the ICE officers. And we can all go home to our families at the end of the day. And
the funny thing is, too, is that they didn't fight the ICE officers a year and a half ago. They didn't fight the ICE officers during Obama. It's only when Trump said mean things about Somalians that now we're fighting ICE officers, or because they hate the agenda. I mean, whatever.
I know, but here's the thing, and here's the problem: is that there is an optics problem. I don't want to deny that, and that they have, and the Democrats are doing it. They have successfully created an optics problem for immigration enforcement. And it all boils down to really that people want illegal immigrants deported, but they don't want it like that, which is fair or unfair. But then when leftist states say, we're not cooperating with law enforcement, we're going to let the illegals sneak out the back of the courthouse. We're going to let people with valid deportation orders right back out of jail after they, assault somebody or rape somebody or steal from someone. Then then you create a situation where you have ICE on the streets doing things visibly in a way that looks bad to people. In states where the jails and courthouses are cooperating with federal law enforcement, there's no problem. None of these scenes are happening. These scenes are happening because Democrats created these scenes and wanted them to happen. And it is creating an optics problem. And they are deliberately sending people out here itching to get shot. And it's happening. And normal people who don't follow stuff see that and are turned off by it. They don't like it. You know?
I think there's some truth to that.
And so, I don't know. They're going to radicalize more normal people. Sublime Creation says in the chat, hung with the girlfriends last night. One expressed fear that ICE was going to come take her husband because he's part Mexican. I said, oh, we've moved on to the fear-mongering portion of the evening. Yeah, but here's the thing is that, like, normal moms in local moms groups that I'm in are saying stuff like, do I have to send my child's birth certificate with them to school in case ICE grabs them? So this is radicalizing lefties. For sure. You're going to have more people joining Signal group chats to create plots to disrupt federal law enforcement.
I saw Alex Reamer, who I used to work with at the Boston Herald. I saw him post they should cancel all the football games today because of this. And, of course, it's an absurd thing to do because nobody needs to cancel anything. But I thought it's just stupid enough to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen, but all you have to do is, this is what I would suggest, and I'm going to go down and talk to my 12-year-old, because I don't know if he knows yet that you don't wrestle the police. I don't know if he knows that yet, but I'm going to tell him, just in case he doesn't know that. Even my daughter, actually. My daughter, she doesn't know to not wrestle the police. I don't think she knows. Oh, can we hit another thing here? Let's say something that's going to piss people off, okay? I've seen numerous people say, "Oh, but on January 6th, the cops, you would have been fine if the cops fired into the crowd." And the answer is what else?
Yes, we would have been fine.
Yes, we would have been fine. I think we said it at the time. I don't like that the woman died, but I'm not surprised she died. Trying to break into the inner chamber of the U.S. Congress with armed security in there, rolling the dice, man. I wouldn't have counseled anybody to do it. The people, the Capitol Police, who were getting beaten up, the ones who were really piled on, yeah, I would have been fine had they shot into the crowd. They didn't shoot into the crowd for a reason. I guess they thought because that would get the crowd more angry and there were more crowd than bullets.
Yeah, there was a lot. It was a very, very big crowd that they didn't want to start stuff. But yeah, with this guy, I'm sorry that this guy was shot. And I'm sorry Ashley Babbitt was shot. But also, why are you in some kind of physical confrontation with law enforcement? Why are you crawling through a broken glass door to get into a federal building? I don't understand. It sucks and it's tragic, but it's incredibly avoidable.
Well, yes, and
it's
that's
like being hit by a train. It's terrible to be hit by a train, but it's really easy. You know exactly where that train is going to be.
Right. The train is almost always on the tracks.
Right.
And so if you can avoid the tracks, I think that's a good idea. All right. Should we do the chat? Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. I do like that song, actually. It's not bad.
The protest song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good as far as it goes. Yeah, Sublime in the chat says that they're in the suburbs of southern New Hampshire, and the Mexican husband that she's worried about works for a big pharmaceutical company and is a professional. It's just nuts beliefs from all these people.
Can you also just tell your friend Sublime to not dox people on any of these ice apps?
Yeah,
it's not working out.
We'll talk about that in the Patreon show.
In particular, we have mentioned
a specific person who's now had to delete all his social media.
Yes, we've mentioned this person in very good light. We have personally very good relationship, our families, and social media, I'm starting to think, might have diminishing returns.
For some people, can't seem to handle the responsibility. That's for sure.
Okay, ready? You can.
Hey, Tom, Alice, Tom from Thomaston
Hey,
here.
Tom.
Hey.
Hey, Tom, I used to get a laugh out of when you made a comment about Dark Alice and, watch out for her later. It was always funny. Tom making a joke.
Yeah.
But whoa, the curtain has been pulled back.
Mhm.
We've seen a glimpse into that darkness, Tom. So
Yeah.
just hope everything goes well with you. Hope you don't get on her bad side too much, and can't wait for the next reveal of what is not good in Alice's mind. Thank you.
My window was, I'm not going to talk about the level of arms we have now, but from 2013 to 2018, that's when I got the look.
What does that mean? What
when I
happened
got the
between 2013 and
little
2018?
blue beady-eyed look, the I hope you effing die, and I could see the she frigging meant it. I would have been shot several times. I have no doubt, by the way, no doubt that when she does murder me, that she is so up to date on how to dispose of the body. I'm sure the equipment's around here somewhere. And I'm actually fine with it, as a matter of fact. Don't even bother looking. Who cares? I'm around Massachusetts. It's probably where I'm going to end up.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
I don't really like making fun or commenting on you guys, but I just got to tell you.
I could tell.
It's either aloofment, if that's even a word, or entitlement. But to bring your kid, a 1-year-old screaming child, which we have to listen to, by the way, to a meeting. I mean, I know it's a dorky Republican meeting and all that stuff, but people are there Thursday night. They want to have a meeting, maybe a couple of drinks, and relax and just kind of talk politics about Massachusetts and how they're going to better the state. And then Alice strolls in with this stupid 1-year-old.
Agreed.
I don't want to say stupid. A stupid mother with a 1-year-old. And
Alice is not technically stupid. Although today you were. What was that today? Oh, yeah.
I walked it.
She started randomly walking through a parking lot with no idea where the car was. And then walked in front of a moving car with no idea.
Decides to take it to the meeting. I actually found the minutes of the meeting, and I see at the end, they're actually advocating now for abortion. She got
you did that?
Republican Party to actually put on their platform pro-choice.
That's not bad, Billy. That's a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, Billy, I wish I wasn't at the meeting with the 2-year-old also. Unfortunately, they required me to be there because I am the chair and I was running the meeting, and it was a meeting required by law. So, if somebody else wants to take it on and be the chair, you are more than welcome to. You have my endorsement. But yes, I did show up and fulfill my legal duty to send delegates to the Massachusetts convention.
Here's the other thing, Billy, and this is the most important part of this. If she leaves the baby, who's the baby with? That's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
It means the baby's with me. We do not want that. No.
Alice, I just wanted to defend you a little bit on the cookie thing. I think it was Howie. He talked about this years ago. Someone was a kind of a well-known person, ran and got a House seat in Massachusetts and only served like 2 terms. And after that, he asked him, how come you didn't run for re-election? You're one of the more popular people. And this guy was like, you would not believe how many morons are in that building, and you just can't talk to them. Once you see the underbelly of something and you come to realize what it's like, your opinion can completely change. And I don't disagree with you at all. Also, Tom is the worst single host in the history of this show.
How dare you?
Get your act together, Tom.
I know.
It is interesting because somebody told me today that they were worried about Tom on Howie because he struggles without me, but that you surprised them and you were quite good on Howie. I guess you just don't bring it on the burn barrel when I'm not here.
No, it's not.
You get distracted by the chat, I think.
Well, no, I love the chat. It's just a different. First of all, the way our days are is that like the collapse of our being able to do the show happens slowly, then drastically, so to speak. So
it looks like we're going to be able to do
right.
it. We're like optimistic.
Right. And then suddenly we can't. It's falling apart. Stuff goes sideways. So I'm suddenly doing it alone. Plus, it's the end of the week. It's like it compiles, But no, I actually thought I was okay this last time. I felt I got into a zone a little bit, but it's not the same. It's because it's become a different show without Alice. But with the Howie show, I know going in that it's just me. But thank you for that. I look forward to doing the Howie show. I've got a few dates in. Do I have a few dates? I'm going to be in Grace for a whole week in February, and then some more Howie stuff. I forgot exactly when that.
Janet says the chat does distract you.
Yeah. Well, and also because when there's one of us, I am absolutely like blatantly looking at the chat and reading the chat, and so if you're just an audio only listener, you are getting a disservice.
Oh, because the video watchers really enjoy seeing you mumble while you look at the chat. That's really they're getting the prime content.
Thank you, Alice.
And
Can you take hot pictures of you, please? You look great.
No.
Yeah, and I like that shirt too. We're gonna get Sally to take a picture of you.
Really upset because when Alice isn't there, Tom just mails it in again.
Yeah.
The back barrel podcast. It's 30 minutes, 34 minutes when he's not there. He's terrible on his own. No wonder why he's not in radio anymore.
How dare!
And the other thing is, I upped my membership, re-upped my membership, and actually went to the next level. So I'm at $10 right now, and I'm getting less than when I was paying $0. And that's really what's getting me. It sticks in my craw so much. So I didn't mean to call her stupid. It was a stupid act for you to bring your 1-year-old. It's even worse that you're not on the show.
Correct.
These jobs are taking over my entertainment.
I'm sorry.
If you want to call it that. I mean, Jerry's out. It's just, I don't know what's going on. 46 seconds. I'm very befuddled.
Jerry, we've been mumbling about Jerry over at the main wire, Alice.
But we did get in before the Pats, by the way, a full show today. So
yes,
we planned and got in there before the football games and the snow and all this stuff.
And let's have the snow veer away. How about that? How about we veer away?
We're in the 12 to 18 right now.
Oh.
Hey, I don't know if you and Alice saw that actor James Woods was on Megyn Kelly.
Oh,
I don't listen to Megyn Kelly anymore.
Really?
I think she's gone off the deep end with the Erica Kirk and Candace Owens thing. Yeah. But anyway, other than that,
that's funny, Justin. I actually thought that maybe you were a little bit part of that wing, like a little more radical than me and Alice, but I guess not.
Had James Woods on, and they were talking about Don Lemon and the Minnesota thing.
Yeah.
And
oh, by the way, there's a chance that he's getting arrested this week, Don Lemon.
That would be so great.
Oh, give me a please.
He called him a small man, and then Megyn Kelly goes, calling him a man's a stretch, and James Woods goes, "Oh, he stretched."
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
She still ignored it. She never heard it, I guess. I don't know. She didn't catch it.
That's I didn't catch that, but I like that you told us the story. But he was on, I guess, with Mike Rowe. I checked that out.
There's so much snow around here. I don't know if there's snow where you're at.
Yeah.
So much snow. You're gonna have a big old snow party. So much snow.
You're in heaven now.
Anyway. Best wishes.
You got the Buckeyes winning the whole thing. You're in heaven, Justin.
So what is this I'm seeing on Twitter that they found 744,000 duplicate votes or voters in Massachusetts?
Did we know this?
Where is this coming? Do you guys know where that's coming from?
I have not seen that.
I have not
I'll
seen
take
it.
a look.
That's from 17 hours ago. Yeah, I had not seen it yet. I got to plug back into Massachusetts. I really do, especially if I'm doing Howie.
Oh, hello, Thomas. It's Mrs. Witherspoon. It's cold here. Oh, please. I don't have any din-din. Oh, please. It's so cold. I'm freezing my nips.
I hope she calls it. I hope he said Witherspoon, because I always loved. Wasn't Reese Witherspoon just a totally perfectly lovely, dolphin-faced, perfect-looking blonde. Wasn't she? I thought she was.
I like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. And The Election is a masterpiece of a movie.
Thank you so much for listening. We can talk more. I'm looking up this stuff about the duplicate registrations. But we can talk more about that in the Patreon. We can also talk about, I want to talk a little about, I know we talked a bit about the libertarian reaction, but the Dave Smith, Matt Walsh beef on Twitter and some of these other things going on. We will see you on the Patreon side, patreon.com/burnbarrel.